Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
And for this spooky episode, we watched Eight-Legged Freaks.
I can't remember the music for it.
It's a Christmas movie.
Like what?
Is it?
Yeah.
How?
Come on, what does Eight-Legged Freaks spell?
Eight-legged freak? What?
Spiders?
Elf.
Oh.
Christmas
No, I'm
movie.
ending it here.
Cool. We've had some tenuous connections to Christmas movies before, but that I'm not having. We have accepted some bad connections. So
Okay,
Eight-Legged
fine.
Freaks,
So it's a Halloween movie. It's about creepy
Sure.
crawlies.
it's a monster movie.
It's
So-
pretty scary as well. Had you guys seen it before?
Yeah,
I was going to say
I
one of us
watched
had, right? That's the concept.
So yeah, one of us has to. That's the rule. I watched this so much as a kid.
Why am I not surprised?
But I'm like
No, right.
going back. I'm like, this might be why I'm afraid of spiders.
You think?
I was never afraid of the film.
Are
I
you
was
sure it's
never.
not? Is it a reason you're also afraid of CGI?
But I was never afraid of this film. I think
Okay.
it's because they're big spiders, and it's completely different. Like they're
Yeah.
not spiders anymore; they're big animals.
They're monsters, yeah.
Yeah, no, that don't scare me that much. The movement of spiders freaks me out, but I think once you get over that, and once they're big enough, that stops being a thing.
Yeah.
Like they you can see the legs.
Nah,
moving, but-
I'm gonna argue. I'm
Fluid,
actually
is he?
fine with spiders. I am
Okay.
shit scared of big spiders.
Giant
Like
spiders.
if there was a spider that was as big as my dog or my car or my house.
I'm
very scared.
in reality, yeah, I'd be terrified.
Yeah,
But with this film, for some reason, it never scared me.
Yeah.
maybe it's because they look awful and the
They
movie's
don't
just...
look awful. I
They
would
don't
defend-
actually look as bad as I thought they
No,
were
they
gonna.
don't look too bad. The one thing that because I had seen this probably about 10 years ago, I saw it once. And both times I watched it, because I'd completely forgotten pretty much everything about it,
Yeah.
I was disappointed that I thought the spiders were bigger.
One of them's real big.
Like, I thought that the spiders are kind of attacking an entire city kind of size, like
No.
massive,
See, I-
like
That'd be
kaiju kind of
ridiculous.
thing.
I thought I had seen this film before, but I think I've just seen several other spider-themed monster movies.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of them.
what's the one where it's a hive mind and they have to kill the head spider and it's real big, and it's really
I have no idea.
Evolution.
Yeah, is it a movie where there's a small town that's sort of in the middle of nowhere and a bunch of creatures start to attack them and they have to use their wits and cunning to get around?
It's something like
Yes, it's a monster
Arachnado,
movie.
or like there's like an earthquake and all these like spiders.
Is it
come
Critters 2?
Out. No.
Yeah,
it's-
no, this is very similar to Critters too.
Is
But-
it Tremors?
But also, it's a monster movie. That's kind of the point of them.
Yeah.
You can't
Oh, yeah.
criticize
Yeah.
it for
They are
being a monster movie.
formulaic.
Yeah.
No, and like I part of me with this couldn't tell if it was trying to be slightly kind of playing on the monster movie, that kind of
100%.
thing as
Oh yeah, like it's
It's
quite
as
self-aware.
like a sort of
Oh, no
Like,
one listens
yeah.
to the kid. They literally reference other movies.
Yeah. Also,
yeah, exactly.
the,
It's like the Scream of monster movies because it's got David Arquette in it.
you
And
know
it's
what
got like a monster movie playing in the background in several
Yeah,
scenes
a
at the kid's bedroom.
giant spider movie.
Why did Courtney Cox marry that guy?
I don't know.
Also, can we just I just have to say it pretty quickly. No one mentioned ScarJo was in this.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's in this
Yeah.
one for some reason.
The Asian representation of this
She's
movie.
playing
Scarlett
one of the
Johansson.
spiders. Yeah, no, ScarJo is in this film.
Yeah,
Young
she's Black
ScarJo is
Widow.
in this film. Yeah, this is where her love of Black Widow began. Because that's what she
this
thought.
is the prequel we should have got.
That's what she thought she was going to be playing. She was like, I get to play Black Widow. She was like, no, there is a Black Widow. You're not listening. Yeah, this film's ridiculous, and it has a weird cast. It does all the 2000 thing. But I want to say one thing when we start. This original film was going to be called Iraq Attack,
Nice. Oh,
Which
but
is
that sounds a bit like
something
Iraq.
which is
Oh,
yeah,
no.
no, that's what happened. So this was meant to be called Iraq Attack, and then they were like, we have to change the name because The
Because it's
Iraq War
2002.
has happened, and we can't call it that. And they're like, okay. It was called Iraq Attack in some countries in Europe. But Eight-Legged Freaks was a ad-lib line in the film, so they called it
cool.
Eight-Legged Freaks. They say this is an Iraq attack about 8 times through the film, and as soon as you know that was the title, it really stands out.
Yeah, I was going to say that I glossed over that in my head.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I didn't really notice, but I did notice when he shouts, "Get back, you eight-legged freak."
Yeah.
that was the ad-lib line that they turned into the name of the movie.
So it opens up with this kid visiting this creepy dude.
No,
Yeah, after some toxic waste has fallen off of something into a river.
it opens up on a radio show,
Oh, yeah.
on like a
Ah, yeah.
conspiracy radio show, where this guy's like, it's aliens. Aliens are trying
Aliens
to...
are coming, like,
Yeah.
like chemtrails. He's a real everything
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist.
But like not in a bad way, like Joe Rogan and Alex Jones.
Yeah, he's one of your more harmless kind
Yeah,
of
it's like
wake up
he kind of
sheeple.
believes the utter ridiculousness of stuff, and none of it is like
The kind of guy
targeted.
that would have been going to that thing where everyone tried to invade Area 51 at once.
100%. He would have been broadcasting it. I like that. I
Yeah.
trust that guy. I trust conspiracy theory guy in this.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
starts with him
he's-
like explaining the premise of the film without explaining the premise of the film, and then we go
Yeah.
into the toxic waste being spilled in
Yeah.
the water.
First scary scene, I thought that rabbit, you have a shot of this rabbit, and then the rabbit does, what rabbits do, and it tries to commit suicide in the middle of the road.
Deliberately tries to kill the driver, I think you mean.
Yeah.
That's what the rabbits are really
Psycho
doing.
rabbit, yeah. And he's already had a taste of that toxic waste, and he wants more.
Real big rabbit.
Yeah. Vegetables can't sustain me now. I need man flesh. I'd watch that. That's
Yeah,
the
okay.
curse of the were-rabbit, really,
That
isn't
is
it?
absolutely a film.
Wallace and Gromit really beat us to the
Killer
punch there.
rabbit.
Yeah, that one scene in
The
Holy
rabbit
Grail.
doesn't get
Yeah.
smashed.
No.
I really
rabbits
thought they were going to
survive.
kill the rabbit, but they
Yeah,
don't.
rabbits survive.
Rabbit's fine, and I was like, oh, maybe this is one of those nice, not particularly scary films.
Nope.
Made me jump so many fucking times.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of the movies where they don't kill all of the
They
animals.
killed
Wait,
all
no,
of
never
the
mind.
animals. The only animal that survives is that rabbit.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like if this is on Does the Dog Die, it
Yes,
just has
all of
yes
them.
in big solid letters.
Does the dog die? Do the ostriches die?
Does the parrot die? Does the cat die? Yes.
The cat scene.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Anyway, yeah.
So toxic waste in the water. Creepy guy is like, these bugs look different. Starts feeding them to his spiders. This kid, like a 13-year-old.
It's not just any
The
spiders,
Milky
though.
Bar
It's
kid.
like a spider museum.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
spider farm.
This is like that picture you sent in of the
Yeah, it's
nuclear waste.
Yeah, we'll put that.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
put that
quite
on the Discord because
Yeah,
that was all
it
I
is
could
a-
think of when I saw this.
this is the premise of this film.
They saw that sign and were like,
Oh, good idea. Yeah, so he's feeding them to these like nightmarish spiders. All of them are.
And he's
At
got
this
loads
He's
of
point-
got like
different
all
types.
beavers,
And
jumping spiders,
Yeah.
tarantulas. Yeah.
He also explained how each one of them hunts. That like comes
Yeah.
up later in the film. Which, guys, I don't know if you know this.
oh,
It's good foreshadowing.
Oh, what's foreshadowing?
Anyway.
is it a spider thing? Because they have 4 sets of legs.
Yes. Into
Yeah, they have
spiders,
4 shadows
specifically
because
about
it's all their
spiders.
legs.
No, we've already discussed this. It's a lighting technique where you get 4 shadows on the floor.
Because they're
Because
spiders.
they're
Yeah.
spiders. Yeah, and then this 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid is like, I'm going to talk to the spider guy, who is creepy and doesn't try to not be creepy at any point.
Yeah, he's just living his best life with his
He's
spidey
living-
pals.
Best spider-based life until he's not, because the big tarantula gets out, which has a name and I can't remember it, but it's essentially just a tank tarantula. It's a rose-haired tarantula, I think it's called, and it gets out. And when the kid leaves and is like, I've got to go.
Yeah, because his mum is like, stop hanging out with that weird spider guy.
She's
He's weird.
Fair.
It's like, he gives me a
Yeah,
weird
he's like-
vibe.
Yeah,
She's like, oh, ScarJo, stop hanging out with this biker dirtbag, and small child, stop hanging out with the creepy Spider-Man.
old spider guy.
Like, she's got enough on her plate. Like, teen mum that becomes sheriff of a dirtbag town. Like,
She's so stressed all the time and fair.
yeah.
So yeah, the kid leaves and the guy, because big tarantulas got out, bites him. He knocks over all of the other cages The spiders eat him, and then they eat the parrot.
They're all
his
like
parrot,
they're getting bigger and bigger. Like
Yeah.
they're growing, they're shedding and growing like crazy.
really fast because of the nuclear powered.
It never says
Crickets.
nuclear.
Yeah, no, because
It just says toxic and like
toxic
biohazard
waste.
and stuff.
Toxic waste crickets, which I guess is why they stop growing because they run out of crickets to eat
Yeah, well, they moved on to ostriches.
and people.
Yeah, and people. Yeah, and the people
Eventually
haven't
people.
ingested the toxic waste. They just live on in a town that's on top of a mine full of farts.
Yeah, mine. An
Yeah,
iron
so it's a
mine.
mining town that hasn't struck gold yet.
Yeah, and the guy whose dad owned the mine is David Arquette, and he was like, "No, we're not closing the mine down because Dad believes there was a huge gold vein down there.
Yeah.
Also, it's full of methane gas. Don't go down there."
Yeah, we can't get it if we find it.
And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the mine's being full of methane gas. Mikey, what's
it comes
that
up
called?
later.
For
Yeah.
gassing.
That lighting technique comes up
Free
later.
gas.
It's gaslighting.
No.
For gassing. So yeah, learn all that because yeah, it's just a failing town. It was reliant on the mines opening back up. That hasn't worked. For some reason, they built a mall, like a giant mall. No one's visiting.
Yeah, they basically like their town planner, I guess, just kept on.
Yeah.
Well, that was he like a sheriff? What was that guy's
mayor.
role?
He was the mayor.
Mayor. That's the one. I forget
Uh,
that mayors in America do more than just like open up
Yeah,
shops,
it's an
like
actual
and
role.
I don't know, congratulate kids
Yeah.
in I don't know
Um,
what British mayors do. Not a lot, most of the time.
Yeah.
They have a mall. They have an ostrich farm, and they have the failed mine.
Yeah. He has an ostrich farm. It's his ostrich farm. It's the mayor's farm.
Yeah.
Because he bought ostriches. Which was like, I didn't realize a thing in America and like in England as well.
Yeah,
There
that
was a-
ostrich meat had like a bit of a hurrah.
It was like, watching this thing on it, it was like a scam. It was like a bunch of people went, we can probably sell a load of ostriches off. So they just sold a load of ostriches and like promised that it would be this big market that never really took off. So now there's ostrich farms everywhere.
I've had
which I
an
think is
ostrich burger.
very funny.
Like back in the day, I remember it was at like a music festival I was at. I had like a
Yeah.
ostrich meat stand, like an ostrich burger stand.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had one of them as well. Yeah,
but
It
was
was
alright.
fine. Yeah.
yeah.
I think
it was a burger
promised
at
as,
a
like-
music festival. It was overpriced
Yeah.
and fine.
I think it was like sold. Ostriches were originally sold as like the next big meat, the next like big thing, and it's just
Yeah.
never.
But you know, we
Just
keep
never was.
subsidizing cows and sheep,
Yeah.
and it's just like
But not
really hard to
ostriches.
compete with something that the government is
Yeah.
artificially. Anyway,
Yeah, so this
Spiders.
so giant spider. So-
Yeah, so the spiders do actually eat the ostriches, though. It takes at least 2 spiders to take down an ostrich,
Yes.
allegedly.
It is the trapdoor spiders.
yeah, the trap.
Yes.
So, oh god, and they're so freaky. But
Yeah.
they're freakier, I think, when they were littler. But when they're big, it is literally, when you say trapdoor spider, you can tell that it's a trapdoor in a set because it's very,
Yeah.
very flat and very, very, very obviously plywood.
100%. Well, the spiders need to build it out of something. They're big. Plywood just makes sense.
Exactly. They
He
can't just
hears-
use dirt
He
now.
just hears all this construction sounds going on, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on outside?"
Maybe he stole the tools from the guy in the...
Yeah, spider in a
scene
hard
previous.
hat with a drill. Like,
He's got like
yeah, they stole the hard hat
2
from the guy in the
swords.
mine that they filled his mouth with spiders.
Yeah, oh, that was awful. I hated
that was-
Yeah,
so
that seems
much.
horrible.
That
because
was
they're
awful.
smaller, they're
That's
slightly
just
better
yeah.
animated. Because the bigger ones, they've just kind of made the spiders bigger. They've not like,
Yeah.
filled in any more detail
No.
Mm.
a lot of the time. So the smaller spiders definitely benefit from being
Anytime-
smaller.
Anytime the spiders are like rushing out of a small hole place, awful. Just awful.
Yeah,
Don't
there's
need
that
it.
scene towards the end where, like, you think the giant tarantula's going to come in, and it instead moves away, and you're like, what?
And
And then just shitloads of
Thousands
small
of
ones come in.
Orb weavers filing.
Yeah.
Horrifying, awful, needs to stop right now. But yeah, no. So the spiders take over the city. No, not yet. There's a lot of internal
They kill a cat in a
drama.
wall.
There's a lot of like drama going on that's not needed. There's ScarJo and the boyfriend that tries to sexually assault her.
Yeah, so
So she tases him on the bollocks, and he pisses himself.
Yeah, so the mum gives her.
the
a
mum's
taser,
like, look,
which by the way comes up later. Just
Yeah.
throw that in there.
yeah.
mum's like, look, I know what basically is like, I
I know
if
the
you're going to
boys
be
are like.
hanging out with like this like bad girl phase could get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Like
'Cause
be
one of-
careful. And she's
one of-
all, her daughter's like really throws it back in her face, like, oh, I'm going to get pregnant like you. And I think her mum's sitting there like, well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm worried
That's the
about.
worry.
Obviously, that's what I'm hinting at here.
You moron.
I'm now
But yeah.
I'm not upset because of what you said. I'm upset that I've raised a total imbecile.
You're not paying attention? Yeah. So she gives her a taser because we learn one of the boys is, which again doesn't come up later, is like the stepson of the mayor.
Yeah.
So like she can't arrest them ever. She can't like do anything to them.
Well,
They
she's like,
get
it'd
away
just
with
be fruitless to arrest him.
Yeah. And then one of them, she goes out.
They all
with
ride
a-
on dirt bikes, like, or little mopeds or what. I think they're dirt bikes, right?
Oh, it's what shitty teenagers do.
Yeah.
They ride dirt bikes.
Yeah, you get dirt bike boys and horse girls. They're the same thing.
They're opposite ends of the same coin. They're
Exactly.
respectful.
They're the same kind of thing. Where they're just obsessed with their dirt bikes, like how you get the girls obsessed with their horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they go out. They're at, like in the middle of nowhere in the desert. The guy tries to force.
Well, they're
himself.
near a petrol station, aren't they?
Yeah, the guy tries to like get with ScarJo.
Yeah, he really doesn't understand the whole no means no thing.
She's
It's like
pretty
no
explicit
means
about
I need
it.
to justify it and convince you. And
He's like, I don't want to have sex in a car.
I was
and
really
he's
worried
like,
that it was going to be like a proper like sexual assault scene.
Heroic
And-
spiders. No, that would have put the spiders in. The spiders are like kind of portrayed as a hero sometimes.
yeah,
film.
yeah. I wasn't
Because-
sad when they were chasing after him.
No, because she's like, no, fuck off. She tases him in the balls. He pisses himself.
And she like
And
shoves
then-
him out of the car. More importantly, she shoves him out of the truck and drives off.
Yeah,
So he's left on it, not on his own because everyone else is still
all
there.
the other bikes. Are still
So it's not as callous as like, obviously, if she'd left him alone in the desert at night or something, I'd be like, obviously
murder.
that's murder.
yeah. But yeah, she drives off. He's
Not
like,
that she
"Oh,
has to look after someone who's just tried to sexually assault her,
No,
but
no.
it's also movie wise, it will be like, okay,
Weird.
he's getting instant kind of
yeah, which he
punishment.
does
He does get
because-
pretty much instant punishment
because the
because all the friends
spider-
know he's wet himself.
and all the jump because he'd run over like Jesus Christ, there's jumping spiders, giant jumping spiders, run. And the rest of them are like, haha, you pissed yourself.
Yeah, which to be fair is probably my
Which
reaction
is
would be as well. It's
fair
like, no matter
enough,
what you're
yeah.
saying, mate, like you've wet yourself, and the first thing you've done is not deny it. So
Yeah. And then all the spiders chase after him and kill all but one of them.
All but the guy that she tased in the balls, who goes into the mines.
Oh yeah, he gets like a weird redemption arc.
yeah,
Yeah.
There is like a weird thing in this film, like all monster movies do it. And I was thinking about it. If you were in this situation where someone came up to you, first of all, a kid was like, "There are giant spiders. We need to do something," and like you wouldn't believe the kid, right? Like you just wouldn't be like, "Jesus Christ, there's giant spiders." You'd be like, "Okay."
yeah. I'd be like, this kid is very upset and confused. Let's try and work out why.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't
Ow.
necessarily jump to, oh, it's because
He's telling
of
the
jumping
truth.
spiders. Like he might think he's telling the truth,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't necessarily believe him.
But at what point would you believe that there was giant spiders attacking the town?
I think seeing them, unfortunately.
Would your limit be seeing them?
I think, or enough adults all saying that they had seen them, and maybe someone getting badly hurt.
Right. Because, yeah, that would be my thing. It's like, if enough people were, like, all agreeing that there were giant spiders, I'd probably start to believe that there were giant spiders. But I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
would
like,
not
this
believe
day and age
100.
as well, like, yeah, to be fair, like, a couple of TikToks as well.
Yeah, a couple of TikToks, a tweet or two.
Yeah. From, like, a verified
verified
Twitter,
Twitter
yeah.
account.
BBC
Yeah,
News or,
it's
Sky.
verified by the guy doing the radio show,
Yeah.
who at one point just goes off on a tangent about why are aliens trying to anal probe everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he says, don't take that away from me. You can have anything else. He says, I will not take that. You can take anything else, but please don't take that. I thought it was very funny.
Yeah, he's clearly quite hung up about his butthole.
Yep.
Maybe he's embarrassed about it. Maybe he's got a really ugly one, and he's like, I don't want the aliens
I
to
think
see
most
it.
people have ugly buttholes.
Well, speak for yourself. But also, yes. Yeah, this film also has this weird thing that I found a bit more jarring because I don't know if I've just not seen enough monster movies, but everyone in this is immediately very much like, fuck you, got mine. It's like every man for himself.
Yeah.
With the exception of, is her name Gladys, who goes after her dog?
Yeah, that's
the
There's so many
love
shots of people
interest, the
seeing
main-
someone in trouble and just being like, oh, fuck this shit. And they like either close the door or walk away or hide.
Yeah,
Like there's very
main-
little, like apart from like the main characters, there's very little people trying to be heroes.
Well, that's the main character's mum, isn't? Well, like, that's like the main.
I think
guy's
she's
mum.
like his auntie
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Because he comes back into town and she has
Yeah.
a dog. But yeah, the funniest parts are like when because I think this film's definitely a comedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
It's not that scary. It's actually kind of because you have like scenes of the spiders interacting with getting into the city as they're growing.
Yeah.
And we have the cat scene, and we need to talk about the
Oh,
cat
yeah.
scene.
That was my favourite scene. It's absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. This guy's remodeling his house and he's been doing it for ages and his wife's sick of it. But he's left the plasterboard, he's not filled in a hole that he's made probably for like wiring or something.
Yeah.
And the cat's
the
got
cat.
in and it's clearly not like the first time the cat's got stuck in the plaster.
Well, the cat sees one of the spiders climbing
Yeah.
into it. So the cat's like, I'll deal with this.
Yeah. Leave it to me, boys.
As all cats do.
Yeah. Their hunter instincts are like,
Yeah.
well, that's just a big spider. I play with
Yeah.
spiders all the time and I've never lost, so
I got this. So it goes in, and then like they're like, you're gonna have to, because they do. It's very like cat owner thing is like, we'll give it simple like cat food and pretend it's me. And the woman's like,
Yeah,
"You
because
won't
they're like,
believe
oh,
me."
we've only got normal cat food left, and he normally eats tuna.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
did
you
crack
won't
me up
believe
because
it.
it is like, oh shit, where's the good stuff?
Yeah.
Get this cat out.
Yeah, to try and lure a cat out of a wall, you need more than just simple cat food.
We had for whatever reason in the house growing up, one of our cupboards had a hole in it. I think it was like to help with some plumbing stuff, like where
Yeah.
the washing machine fixtures were in the kitchen. Perfect size for a kitten to get in,
Hmm,
not able to get back out again.
great.
And our old
Perfect
cat
size.
never used to jump into it. I think it didn't occur to us that was a thing a cat would do until like we lost the cat and there was just meowing. And yeah, had to pull out all the appliances to get the cat to come out.
Yeah.
Multiple times before my mum was like, right, we are shutting it. Like it was like very much an enforced rule that cupboard door was always shut.
I just like in this film when he's like, ooh,
'Cause-
it's tuna.
Yeah, cat gets
Yeah.
stuck, gets upset, and does it again the next week, like for sure.
But this cat,
Well, I don't think it does this time because a giant spider smashes it around in the wall,
Yeah.
and you see its imprint sticking out
Yeah,
of the
and they are the
plasterboard.
best imprints because you get like a couple of pores sort of in the plasterboard,
Yeah.
like pushed through, and then suddenly just a full on arachnid.
yeah, it's like full spider outline, which means
Full
the
spider,
cat is
and then just like
fighting
the cat's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat is fighting the spider.
And the cat parents,
the
that's
owners.
owners, are just
Are like,
watching in like disbelief, like
"Oh
what
God,
the
oh
fuck
no."
is going on?
And then it reaches the ceiling light and electrocutes. I assume also killing the spider.
Yes, I think that's sort of
Really?
implied.
Yeah, I assume neither of them win that fight, which is a really funny way to end it.
Yes.
It's like this was the most even matched fight in the film.
Yeah.
This was the Fast and
Oh
Furious.
yeah, the
fight
cat is
of the
giving as good as
movie.
it gets.
Yeah, and then we have like
Because
a load
it is
of
like
other
it
scenes.
is essentially a cat-sized spider as well. So
Yeah. And then we have like a load of other scenes, like you said the woman, her dog goes into like a cubby hole that leads to the mines, and the woman's like, "I'll go in," which comes up later. Not foreshadowing.
Yep.
though. That's just normal story.
that's just plot.
That's just plot.
Yeah.
Not everything is foreshadowing. Guys.
And then
I'm learning that.
the other ones,
The old
are-
man.
Yeah, the old man in the barber shop. He has the
Yeah.
ones that I can't remember which spiders it is, but they're sort of general like just attack
Orb
and eat.
Weaver is like, yeah, climbing up behind him. He's like, "Oh god." It's a really funny film.
Yeah. Especially
If you
because this
can
guy
get
sees
over
this
the giant
spider
spider.
like eating, basically about to like attacking and webbing up his friend,
Yeah.
the barber, as he's like, "I'm going to shut up now," and I shut up shop.
Yeah.
And he sees him, and then he just goes like, "Ugh," and like closes the door. Just
Yeah.
like decided, well, that person's doomed.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Why
what you
risk
do.
my life?
What you do in this situation. So
At this
that's-
point, the
that
kid
works.
is also being like, I found he does go back because he wants to go and warn. He finds out about the waste dumping.
Yeah.
And he wants to
And
go
go
back
back
and
to
tell
and
the
he
spider
finds
dude.
he finds the spider guy's not there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and like obviously the spiders are out. And also he finds like a big spider leg.
Yeah.
Big but not massive.
No.
Yeah, because then David Arquette finds a massive one.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, and they're freaking out over
Yeah.
spider stuff. Meanwhile, the spider's like, surprise, I'm here.
Yeah. It is the spider version of the pervy 16-year-old.
Yeah, trying to shoot web all over her.
Yeah, that was an unpleasant scene.
Yeah.
It really looked like one of those like semen fetish videos.
Yeah.
She was just plastered.
And the spider gets killed, and they're like, "We've got to go." And then the whole town has been overrun by giant spiders.
So she calls the mayor and is like, "We've got to get every weapon you have." Is it the mayor she calls or someone else from the station or something? I don't know.
pretty sure
I think it's the main police guy.
And she's like, "You've got to bring every weapon you've got and come over here."
Well, yeah, their aim is to go to their aim is to go to the conspiracy radio guy first.
Yeah.
And then
they go there so they can broadcast it.
Yeah, and they tell everyone to go to the mall because it's big and defensive, and then it gets overrun by the tarantula, knocks over.
Yeah, they have to go there because the phone lines are down because during the jumping spider chase, a fuel tanker lorry exploded and took out loads of spiders and the phone lines.
Yeah. Would you say that's foreshadowing?
It's just standard. How do we make sure this isolated town is actually isolated?
Yeah, it's cut the phone line somehow.
Sort of Tremors style.
Yeah, but yeah, the tarantula takes over kills the radio, and then they all run to the mall. They all escape to the mall, really, don't they? Whilst I don't know, most of this film is just giant spider shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, when you say most of them get to the mall, like lots of people seem to die as well. Lots of people get die and get taken to the mine to be fed to the queen spider.
Because we learn from the beginning,
get eaten just there and then.
Yeah, from the beginning we learn that there are orb weavers. The males collect food and take it to the queen, and then the queen eats them alive.
Yeah, well, she kills them by she melts their insides and drinks them like soup.
Yeah, and the queen is 10 times bigger than the males.
Yeah,
we learn all that early on, so it's setting up for that in the mine. That's where the queen.
There's going to be a bloody big spider, but it's kind of it also shoots itself in the foot a little bit because obviously that orb weaver the female is still not as big as the big tarantula.
No,
the big tarantula that knocks over when they're going to to the conspiracy theorists trailer. That was so scary.
That was creepy. That was horrifying.
It was so massive, it tips the trailer.
Yeah, you do kind of have to accept it. It's like all of the things you have to accept in this film. You do have to accept that for some reason the spiders are working together.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I can't explain why, but they are.
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird if they just fought each other. And that was it.
I mean, that's what would probably happen is the spiders
at least a little
would kill
bit.
each other.
Yeah, they'd get territorial or they'd get hungry, and it's I've got all this.
For some reason, the spiders are working together. You kind of just have to accept that, and they are using the tarantula like a battering ram.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's it. Because when they get to the mall, they close the door and they look over at all of these spiders, which again, awful scene, terrible. Don't want to look at that many spiders at once.
Oh, but there is a great thing where there's who's that guy that just doesn't have a clue what's going on that was eating a burger in the mall.
Yeah.
And he's just he sees all these people run into the mall, and he's like, "Well, what's going on?" And she's just like, "Look behind you!" And it's just chaos and carnage and lots and lots and lots of giant spiders.
But yeah,
that was a good line. I like that rather than her trying to explain it or saying something witty. It was just fuck's sake, old man.
But yeah, the tarantula is just kind of crushing every spider in its way when it walks around, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're trying to climb up the radio tower of the mall because they want to try and call someone.
Yeah, they want to get a signal, and that's not really explained why they can bounce the signal off it or whatever, but I think it's just it's high point.
High point. Yeah,
but the woman he phones just doesn't believe him that there's giant spiders
obviously.
invading.
Yeah, what you say is I don't know, a gang has attacked the city.
Yeah, or you just go I don't know, you just make up something better.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
all
she
you need to do
doesn't.
is get them there. The police aren't going to turn up and be like, "Well, this isn't what we were told is
We were
going on. We're going now."
It appears
Call
something
back
bad is
with the
happening.
with the truth, or we're not going to help
Sorry.
you.
We can't arrest these spiders. We do not have enough handcuffs.
Oh, that would have been really funny though. If like that would have been a really solid joke, and I'm surprised isn't in the film. It might have been, and we missed it. But one of the police officers sees all the spiders and goes, "We don't have enough handcuffs." Like that would have been a really good joke that they never make. I don't
No.
think.
No, I don't think
There's
they do.
not too many like awful one-liners in this film.
No,
Like,
I wish there was
it does-
more.
Do
If
you
they
though?
just,
Because I feel
went
like they
into
don't
it.
necessarily age well, and
The whole film doesn't age well. Like
that's true.
this film, whilst
It
they were
looks
making
way
it,
older than 2002 as well.
Yeah. like when they were making it, they must have known that this wasn't going to age well. Lean into it.
Yeah. A lot of the scenes when they're in the mall and just shooting loads of spiders, like, it reminded me of the old, like, you know, the arcade House of the Dead games?
Yeah.
Like, those sort of shooting segments just reminded me of that.
Yeah, and isn't there a mall in Left 4 Dead
You're thinking of
or
Dawn of the Dead.
Dead
Dawn of the
Rising?
Dead is-
Dead
Dead
Rising's
Rising, yeah.
in a mall, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
one of them
it's-
zombie films that I wasn't allowed to play because it was too violent.
Yeah, the mall is like it's a weird setting because the only reason
It's
is, like,
cheap
it's
to
connected
rent
the
at
mine.
night. To
Yeah,
film
and
in?
it's connected to the mine is kind of their excuse for properly being there.
And they need something to blow up at the end
Yeah.
that's satisfying.
And also, like throughout the film, the mayor's like the mall was a great idea. Well, all of the townsfolk hate it.
Yeah.
There's also that, which is great because when they blow it up. So yeah,
Yeah, the mall is like one of those. It's like literally every shopping centre in Britain now, where it's like mostly empty shops, and the rest of them are like sale. Everything must go.
yeah, it's clearly failed.
But it's
it's a-
American, so it sells a shit ton of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's standard. I assume like Arizona is where this is set.
So one of my other favourite spider scene is with the old dude again.
Yeah.
After
Where
he's
it's in the tent.
yeah, the spiders in the tent absolutely killed me. That was so funny because I really wasn't expecting it because obviously it is just really silly.
Yeah, you weren't expecting a scene so intense.
Gonna ignore that and move on.
Yeah, that's the reaction I was expecting from that.
Yeah, this film every now and then gets real silly with it,
Yeah,
but then
Yeah.
like,
that it really threw it. That's why it really caught me off guard because it was just so up and like the fact that it was like doing the whole pantomime thing of like moving a little bit and then he'd look and then it stayed still and then it just it seemed to like just unzip the tent and jump at him.
Oh man, this film is really hard to work out the tone because some of it is like
There's so much
horror.
death but it is so silly at the same time.
Yeah, 'cause it's the noises the spiders make.
Yeah,
We haven't talked about it much. The
They
noises
make the
the
dumbest
spider make are
noises.
crazy. Because spiders make a lot more noise than I think people realize. And like the bigger they get, the more sound they'd make. That's kind of how their bodies work. But yeah, they make like grumbling cartoon character noises.
Yeah, they talk to each other like it's critters too.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So
Because some of the noises are like horrifying and creepy and like actual spider noises. And then yeah, there's just a lot of like.
yeah, it's just like I'm not an an arachnid expert, but I know that's not the sound spiders
Pretty sure
make.
They don't make those noises to talk to each other. They're not that cartoony about it anyway.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's the bit where, and this noise really threw me because it's kind of one of the only times it happens, where one of the spiders attacks a like stuffed moose head,
Oh yeah.
a stuffed deer head, and then
it's
he
like,
bites it,
"Bleh."
chews it, and then goes pleh. Pleh. Which is so like it was so
silly.
it was so weird because it's not like that anywhere else.
And like lots of people and animals have died already.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it gets like, and like the dog, when you compare like the dog scene being taken and the woman being taken to the cat fight,
Yeah.
it's really, because when the dog's taken, it's kind of like, you're like, oh god, the dog. And the woman's like,
Yeah, it's like a proper jump scare kind of bit.
yeah. And the woman's like, I need to climb into here and save my dog. And you're like, oh no, she's going to die too. But like the cat scene is like, this cat just killed a spider. This cat just fought a spider to the death.
Yeah.
It's so weird. The tone is all over the place. But yeah, they back to the. We'll finish the story.
So
They go
it,
into
it gets a little it gains and then loses some credibility for me. So it gains credibility
It gained
for
credibility.
it has the only invent
Yeah.
scene I've ever seen that looks even remotely accurate, where he
Yeah.
very loudly and noisily falls down a vent and then gets stuck behind the grate,
Yeah,
rather than these perfect like soft close, I don't know, cushion lined vents that most spy movies have, where you can't hear anyone climbing through a tube that's like echoey and made of metal.
yeah,
So I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like that's like that's how I'd imagine it would go if you fell down a vent.
yeah.
And also like the woman's comment of like, what are you doing up there? Which is a pretty accurate reaction as well to someone being an event.
Yeah.
But then they have this whole methane thing, which obviously they had. What's that word again, Mikey?
5 shadowing.
5 step. Yeah, because they did it quite a few times.
Did
They
a lot of this.
so they foreshadow the methane being an issue that's going to come up,
Yeah.
and they
They're
keep
like-
talking about like, oh, no sparks or anything, like don't. Obviously they can't fire the gun in the cave once they can smell the methane,
So they have a crossbow.
so they have a crossbow, but they
Which-
also have like torches.
Yeah, when I was
And-
younger, I was like, the crossbow bit is hella cool. I will not.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't
and
shoot on the
like
crossbow,
that the
crossbow's
mum,
hella
the
cool.
sheriff, is such a good shot as well.
Yeah.
But the methane thing really bugged me because it's like, okay, the spark of anything could set it off, but
It just
they've
needs
got
no
like
guns.
they've got they've got so many like different sparks.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just
It's like all
needs
those
no
torches,
guns.
like halogen torches, and
Yeah, yeah.
and then obviously the goddamn motorbike.
Yeah, I'm surprised the motorbike didn't set it off sooner.
So they
because
have
it ends up-
they have a big sort
Yeah.
of everyone
Chase.
ends up in the mines. They get kind
Hmm.
of weirdly, like one guy locks himself into the mines, locking everyone out, which was really one of those horrible like fuck you got mine moments where it's like he's literally tried to doom those people to death.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get out through the mines, and I guess thinks he's safer if he's locked the door behind him, which makes sense, but maybe not if there's lots of men, women, and
Spiders.
children on the other side of that door.
Also, big tarantula spider that knocked through a metal wall.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I get he's scared, but that was still a dick move.
Yep.
But anyway, they do manage to get through because how do they do it? They blow it up or
Can't
something.
remember.
Oh, they
Can't remember.
forklift it.
Yeah.
It gets forklifted from the other side.
Yeah, because
Um,
they have to like the everyone gets to kind of safety. The guy finds his mother
yeah.
wrapped up.
Yeah,
in...
he's like, oh, I need to go back for her because she might still be alive.
Yeah,
Everyone
he goes
else
back
get
for
out of here.
Gladys, and he like
Yeah.
looks at all the other because the spiders that were what did you say that was the orb web spiders?
Orb weavers.
Orb
Lil
weavers.
Weaver, yeah.
They obviously were leaving all these offerings for their queenie.
Yeah,
Most of them were horribly rotten, and clearly dead.
Yeah, those were probably the scariest bits to me. Was like how horrible those bodies looked.
Yeah, they were pretty like messed up.
that tone
Yeah.
shift into like horror again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
Yeah,
unpleasant. 'Cause it's
horror.
like I guess those people have been injected with the juice stuff.
Yeah, they've been sucked dry.
Whereas thankfully she hadn't. So he gets her out, and then obviously she immediately, because it's also foreshadowed that she is a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
She
And she
immediately tries to
starts to-
spark up a cigarette, and he's like, no. So she's
This
very
whole time-
confused.
and she's also like, you look like an angel, and he's like, why? And she's like, all the gold behind you. And
Oh, yeah,
my god,
they see
there's
the
the big
gold in
vein
the
of
vein.
gold.
Yeah.
The gold line.
It's like
Um,
no one
The really
cared.
obvious.
No one cared about the gold.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
and then he smashes one of the lights.
yeah.
and puts, like,
because the lights are off
the
because the
matches there.
generator's gone.
Yeah,
off.
Yeah.
they're trying to
and they're trying to restart the generator.
because the plan is to
So they all
Well,
get
no.
out. Most of them get out, apart from he's got to stay back because he wants to go and get Gladys if there's any
Yeah.
chance. And he also takes the motorbike off the
Yeah.
teenager, and he's like, "You know what to do." And I just want to point out, she very much starts the generator without him having even started coming back yet.
No, she's fully ready to kill him.
Oh yeah,
She's like, yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
and also he's mentioned that Gladys might still be alive, and that means that potentially others.
yeah,
Fuck
But-
those people.
no witnesses.
Like
No, it isn't.
those anyone that's been encased in spiderweb at this point, but not been eaten.
Yep, fuck them.
Cool,
Deserve
you're
to
just
die.
going to get exploded now. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely no rescue mission there.
by the way, more fucking. I mean, this is more Chekhov's gun than foreshadowing with the taser.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because she has. There's no gasoline to actually start the generator,
just
and
need
she's
the
like,
spark.
"I'll use the taser."
So they were just like, we only need a small amount of energy to get this going.
Yeah, and she's like, I have a taser you gave me. Mother, the taser you gave me worked. It was great all along. Even though we already had that moment earlier when
when
she
she
used the
uses the
taser what
taser.
it was designed for. It felt a bit cheap to be like, wow, the taser finally, it worked. What you gave me, it finally worked. And it's not like, no, it worked before.
Yeah, it's it.
It was weird.
Also, like, how would there not be any gasoline
Yeah.
or petrol or
I
whatever?
mean, it's
like,
an old mine. Like, I get
but they'd
that.
reopened it. They'd literally been drilling that day. That's why we have that horrible scene with the miner where he
That's
tries
true.
to suck the pipe, the hose
well,
pipe, to get some more water to come out.
Do you know who took all of the gasoline? The trapdoor spiders have got to make the trapdoors. So those.
Yeah, they stole all the work tools and all the gasoline.
Yeah, well, they have like chainsaws they need to power.
Of course.
Exactly. They need to be able to cut down the trees to make the doors, and they also need to dig the holes to hide in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
So they need to power up the JCBs.
I like.
somehow.
I like. The
Yeah, have
idea
you
that
ever
the
tried
drum-
making a trapdoor without a digger?
Oh,
Doesn't
it's
work.
awful. It takes
It takes
so
ages.
long.
And do you know how difficult it is to use? Well, actually, you can use multiple spades if you're a spider.
Yeah, you can use a
Yeah.
lot. Of, you can use a
Actually
lot of those
quite good at-
jackhammers.
Oh man, different film. It
Different,
ends in
yeah.
harmony where they find that actually the spiders are really good at digging and they're going to help them open the mine.
These spiders are only these spiders. The Orb-Weaver spiders can stop because they're just trying to kill people. They're just trying to kill people. And the tarantula's just about. He seems
He's just kind of there. He's the guard for the town.
the tarantula.
People don't commit crimes because
they
the sheriff is a big spider.
With a giant fucking tarantula. It has the lowest
Just the
crime rate.
main woman, the sheriff, just riding the tarantula
Yeah.
around town.
It
You
has
fucking dare try do some crimes,
this
bitch.
this town has the lowest crime rate in the country. We asked the citizens why. They replied,
It's the giant
sheriff is a
spider.
giant
We're
fucking
terrified.
spider.
Please help us.
"The sheriff is a giant fucking spider."
Especially since don't tarantulas do that thing where they can shoot their hairs
Oh,
into you
it's
and it
awful.
irritates you?
It's
At that size, that's just a javelin impaling
it's
you, right?
he takes no prisoners. That giant
Yeah.
tarantula, like. There is the reason the reason people still say there is like, well, it's a relatively peaceful sit down. You just don't mess with the giant tarantula
No.
because like
And,
you think
yeah,
you're
every
safe
year we feed him a
inside,
kid.
You're not. If you think you're safe in escaping into a building, you're not. He will get you.
So yeah, it ends all sort of happy days. The police and the
police
army
turn up.
arrive because they heard
Yeah.
not because of the phone call that that the operator thought was a scam or a prank, but because
yeah.
of the broadcast.
Yeah,
a
'cause
group
they
of them
listen
were
to the
listening
radio.
podcast.
And they all get there after after David Arquette has driven out with Gladys on a motorbike with an explosion behind him, which then blows up the wall.
Yes, so him starting the engine doesn't
No.
explode
No,
the
no, no.
methane.
No, but the lights turning on
Yes.
that he smashed a bit of glass on, that explodes it and blows up all the spiders.
And put
Oh yeah, he puts the
matches up there. That
I
would
mean,
they would
yeah.
definitely light fire. Like that's not.
Oh
a
yeah,
problem.
I
It's
don't
just
have a
everything
problem
else
with
is fire.
like honestly, it's quite easy to set a flammable gas on fire.
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
If anything, they just make it seem it's sort
Harder.
of
Yeah.
they make it seem harder than it is.
But I like the when they're talking about the conspiracies and they're like, "Where are the aliens?" Like it's not aliens, it's giant spiders. That doesn't make it giant spiders. That's ridiculous. What if they were giant? No, what if they were aliens that look like giant spiders? Aliens that look like giant spiders?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a good time watching this.
The funniest bit of that sort of like the police scene is when he's like, "There are more cocoons down there," and the police officer's like, "Guys, they've got cocoons."
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
and
honestly,
they just start running off.
they're all really excited.
Yeah. The guys have got, which by the way, all those cocoons are dead. Like everyone in those cocoons are dead. No one could have survived.
Yeah,
But guys,
they're
they've got
fried cocoons.
guys, we've got cocoons. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then they look over and the mall has exploded and the mayor's like, "Ah, no."
And then it ends with how it started, with it being because it was always him telling the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the radio guy.
And the radio guy's like, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's like, and did they open the mine? Who knows? And then you notice that he's got a gold tooth,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, then yeah.
Yeah, they did.
They did blast out most of the gold with a huge methane explosion, so, you know,
The thing is with
it became easier.
thing is with the gold tooth reveal, it doesn't work on the radio.
No.
They're just like, why did it sound like he smiled? What? He's got weird mouth
Why does his
sounds
smile
after that
sound
one.
so shiny?
Why was there a clink? So out of 10, because I know what I'm giving this. This is powered by nostalgia, but I want to know what everyone else thinks first.
I'm going to give it I'm going to give it 5 different types of spiders, killing ostriches and other animals.
Yeah.
It I appreciate it was a good time. Like I had a good time watching it, but I don't think it's necessarily like a particularly good film.
No, it's such a dumb movie.
And like I was pleasantly surprised at how, and I don't want to say good as in it was good, but at how not absolutely shite the animation was. Like it was passable.
Yeah.
They looked like spiders, they moved like spiders. I've seen lots of other spider movies where they do not look even like spiders. Like in one of the movies I saw, they were all weirdly pink. But yeah, like the plot's fine. It's funny, but yeah, the tone shifts are really jarring sometimes, where it goes from like scary to really silly. But the funny bits did get me, and they did make me laugh. So it's a mixed bag of a film.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it didn't go full slapstick. But it wasn't serious. I'm glad it wasn't serious either, because like
It couldn't be. It just couldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have to agree. I think I'd give this 5 legs out of 10.
5 out of 8.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fine. Like it was an alright time. It was enjoyable knowing that it was just more of a comedy, and just the ridiculousness of it, and it just leaning into the monster movie tropes.
Yeah.
It's one of them where I can imagine like a bunch of people round and you want something dumb to have on in the background, and you're like,
100%.
It's like Eight-Legged Freaks is perfect film for that.
Yeah. I think 7 cat fighting giant spiders out of 10. Because like it's this film, the ultimate description of it is the same way that you describe the animation, Helena, which is surprisingly better than you'd think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone told you what this and just explained this film to you, you'd be like, that sounds like it's going to be awful. It's surprisingly not good, but it's surprisingly like better.
I think I might be thinking of Big Ass Spider.
Probably.
Possibly, yeah.
I think I've seen that film.
But yeah, no, I think like 7 out of 10. It's not like great. It's not a good film. I wouldn't by any means be like, it's a good film. It's a great film. It's not. It's an awful film. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. The acting is okay at best.
Yeah.
But fuck, is it fun to watch? Fuck, it's so stupid. And honestly, why isn't Netflix remaking it into a TV show? That's all I've got to ask. Remaking everything else?
True.
Call it Spiders.
Yeah, we need a Rack Attack cinematic universe.
Yes, giant spider. GSCU. Where is it? But yeah, no, so that's 7 out of 10. A lot of that is nostalgia.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot with some of these films. Is if you enjoyed it, even if you know it's a bad film, the nostalgia just kind of helps it coast along a bit.
Yeah, you get an extra like 2 points. I think our average is like you get an extra 2 points for nostalgia. Apart from some of them that you've given Dan that are ridiculously high, you've added like a good 3 or 4 on, and that's not right. But then again, we give like really genuinely good like Oscar-winning movies just less stars than we give 8 out of 8-Legged Freaks. So
we also need to mention, just as a final note, if you'll pardon the pun, the music in this film is often just like an orchestral version of the Incy Wincy Spider went up the water spout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it's really unsubtle, and it is just the tune.
Yeah, what?
Just the weirdest like guy singing it, but the
They
bit where I
Spider song
really
and that was
noticed
it.
that. Yeah, the bit where I really noticed that was when you get the big tarantula start coming in, and it's the really kind of like deep, like bassy kind of trombone.
That's so funny though.
Yeah,
like, that's not a problem. That's a feature.
Yeah, I didn't say it was bad. I just thought we should mention it because it was like one of the things. I was like, that's a choice they made.
Yeah, that's not a bug. That's an arachnid.
They're like, okay, what theme tune? What music should we have for this spider movie? We're like,
Googled
well, I know one spider song.
They Googled spider
Spider.
song.
Yeah. They were
The
thinking
one
get
that
the-
wasn't copyrighted.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't use that one. Well, I guess with that, I've been Dan.
I have been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well, so you can hop in there and tell us all of your terrifying giant spider facts. I wonder if the spiders have a very good circulatory system. We also have a Patreon, so you can help keep this this podcast going. And what are we going to be doing on the Patreon this week?
We're gonna make giant fucking spiders.
I don't wanna.
We're gonna make some giant fuck off spiders. And then we're gonna unleash them onto a small town in America and just see what happens. That's what
I
we're
mean,
gonna do.
a British town might be funnier.
Oh no, that's true. A small British town. Oh man, I want to see this remake of this film as like a British film.
A sort of Hot
That'd be
Fuzz level village.
That'd be so funny. That'd be great. That's what I want to do. I want to unleash giant fuck off spiders on a small town in England. That's what we're gonna do with the Patreon money. I'm glad I have this power.